Hi everyone, it's Giselle with a message for today. I thought I would give an update with regards to how I'm feeling the energies are going and just to help people navigate this tricky time. Ideally, I would like to be able to talk about much more uplifting and happy things, but I feel people do need to hear this message at this time, and that's why I'm drawn to talk about it. I feel collectively that the energies have gotten even more heavy, which is why I haven't yet performed the strengthening telepathic ritual, or strengthening telepathy ritual between me and my person, because I'm just feeling very clouded by the collective energy. And as much as I try to cut it off, it still reattaches itself pretty much instantaneously, which is why I'd rather do the ritual when I'm feeling much more able to be receptive. And I'm sure if I'm feeling like this, that my person must be feeling like this too, because we are connected. And I want to encourage all the empaths out there and all the mediums, or if you're like me, you're a combination of both empath and medium. We are feeling and also channeling a lot of the collective energies, and it's been going on a downward slope since not last Thursday, but the Thursday before that. I've noticed it very heavily. But what I want to say to you is this is a message of hope. This card is a card of hope. It's the star. And this too shall pass. I know I've touched upon that topic in one of my previous videos, but what they wanted to address today is I've been guided to talk about this situation I went through before I set up my business back in 2017, and talk about my 3 weeks that I spent in isolation then due to an illness, but how that time was very fruitful for me and really used productively for me to start my own business. And I guess what they're saying to me is if I hadn't had that 3 weeks of isolation, I may not have gotten my business off the ground the way that I wanted it to. So before I had my business back in 2017, I was already doing readings for people on and off for quite a long time. I mean, you could say I started doing readings for people when I was just a child or a toddler, at the ages of 3 and 4. I had many interactions as a medium with people who'd passed away, and I would give messages to their loved ones, as the people who'd passed I thought were just regular people that wanted me to say something. Sometimes, people would do that. They'll say, tell your auntie this from me. So I thought it was just one of those things, yeah, I'll tell this person this from you. Not really questioning why. But when I found out that those were people who had passed, I was surprised because they didn't look like they'd passed. They just looked like you and I do, just normal people. But I guess I've been doing readings ever since I discovered my gift. And when I was in my late 20s, about 27, 28, I started picking my gift up again and using it to help people. I when it was allowed back in the day, I would sell my readings on eBay. That's how I started. But then I gradually took up the, psychic phone lines and didn't work through that. But in 2017, something very significant happened. So, as you may know, I met my person in August of 2016, which completely changed my life. I discovered so much about myself and about telepathy and about psychic connection to somebody specific living. And our connection was even stronger than the connections I used to have when I used to channel or connect with the people who had passed on. And when we parted ways, I really felt strongly this unexplainable telepathic connection and bond that we had. So in January of 2017, I got tonsillitis and I was really unwell for 3 weeks. I was off work for 3 weeks because the doctor kept having to put me on different courses of medication to heal my throat. And during that 3 weeks, I spent so much time researching spirituality, doing meditations, looking into setting up my own business because I started to realize more and more what I really wanted for myself. So I set up a little shop on Etsy, which I've since closed, but I started my business on there, and then I signed up to the psychic lines. I signed up to more of them to try and, get more work and do it on the side as well as my full-time job back then at the bank. But I really did so much in those 3 weeks that it was a massive turning point for me. I realized what was important and I realized what I wanted from life. And that's what I focused on, and it fast-tracked me becoming self-employed and having my business. And had I not had that 3 weeks, it may have taken me longer. I may have not have, because those 3 weeks were a magical 3 weeks. Although I was very, very ill, I was forced to do a lot of introspection. I started my forgiveness rituals. I freed myself from so many things that were holding me back. I really worked so hard on myself because I was forced. Well, not forced, but I felt it was the best time to do it because I couldn't go anywhere. I was so ill. I was bedridden and I couldn't go to work. So I was stuck in the house for those 3 weeks. But it was a life-changing 3 weeks. It was truly transformative. It made me realize what was important to me, what I wanted, and I truly worked on elevating myself. And then, not too long after that, did I start this YouTube channel, and everything's really taken off from there. And so what they wanted me to do is share that message with you today, to let you know that this time shall pass. This is not permanent. This is just a temporary measure to help everyone stay safe and make the best, just keep us healthy and safe as best as possible. What I want to tell you is the reason why I was guided to share that story about my tonsillitis incident in 2017 is you can choose how you spend your 3 weeks, or however long you've been guided by your government. Do you want to spend it in anxiety? Because I'm sure you don't, and that's what the majority of the collective is feeling. Or do you want to spend it working on yourself and transforming your life and figuring out what is truly important? I know that's not for everybody, but then again, not everybody will be drawn to this video. But my intention is that whomever is drawn to this video will find some sort of resonance with the message that I'm sharing, and hopefully feel some hope in knowing that this is temporary, this will pass, and things after this will be so much more appreciated, so much more enriching, and so much more transformative than it would have been otherwise. I want to bring a message of hope for you, a message of you really feeling inspired to look within. I remember that back in 2017, during those 3 weeks, was also my time that I discovered Abraham Hicks and those teachings, and many other, Wayne Dyer, even the Mind Valley channel I discovered then too. There was a lot of things that I discovered in that time period, because I was being recommended one after the next on YouTube, but it was a very productive time, and so I wish you to have a very productive time in whatever way that is for you. You don't necessarily have to go down this route of opening up a spiritual business, obviously, but whatever way that's productive for you, I wish that you would find what brings you joy and what sparks your creativity and fulfillment. And I thank you also very much for watching. If you'd like to book a reading with me, or a healing, a love letter, coaching session, whatever speaks to you, I'm currently doing promotions till the end of the month, and all the details are in the description. I thank you also very much for watching. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.